Hello, everybody. Welcome to Shoulder Tap. It is Monday. I am Jack, joined by risk manager Ben. It's a million degrees in Chicago today and tomorrow. Unfortunately, my air conditioning is making it so I cannot get a constant temperature. I'm hot or cold. Ben, how's it in Texas?
It's been cooling off actually. It's like 97 degrees, so that's about as good as I could ask for this time of year.
Oof.
Not horrible. We had a string of like 10 days in a row. We were well north of 100, so I'd say overall pretty good. Having a good day, having a good week, and I'm taking the Series 3 test tomorrow morning. So I've been doing a lot of studying and prep and pulling my hair out about that, but looking forward to it and. Feel good, ready to go past that and book it as a win for Topstep and myself personally.
You have the right idea on that. No procrastination, just get it done. So, we talked about it being hot here. Do we have any hot traders in their trading,
Yeah,
not their looks or their looks, if you happen to know? But who's hot today?
we definitely have some heaters going. Primarily meat. Meat P is up $23,450. Locked out on the day. This is a trader who we've been working with behind the scenes, the risk team in particular, talking to meet as the position that they put on very early in the morning, almost top ticking the NASDAQ, taking a short there, now flat and locked out for the day, up a cool 23,400. So love seeing that.
Hot
Couple
Meat
other
Monday.
traders. What's up?
Hot Meat Monday.
Hot meat, indeed. We've got Ben P up 4,500. Rafa, very familiar name on the broadcast, is up 6,200, and then Anthony is up $4,000. So I do want to share. And Nick for a tick also up $500 after being small red this morning, like that out of him. Couple of just quick thing that I've noticed, particularly over the last few days. I can see it just through this color coded sheet I'm looking at. We've got traders in live who've gone up pretty considerable profits, thousands of dollars in some cases, $10,000 plus in the morning to then ultimately take a U-turn and hit that daily loss limit. Pretty miserable to see. I'm sure when it's your own account as well, even more miserable to go through. So if you're up profits, if you're green on the day, whether you're live or otherwise, take it because it can always go south on you if you truly let the emotional tilt sort of take over. So seeing that happen many more cases over the last, I'd say, 4 or 5 trading sessions. So just a trend I'm seeing, and lock it up if you're green in the morning because looks like there's a tendency to give it back across some of the live traders. But that's what we got on the live boards at the moment. We can jump into some trading cards if you're ready, Jack.
Let's do it. And as we do that, I'll point out people are asking if we can get Rafa on the program. Believe you me, we have asked. He's been helpful, giving us some of the levels, providing that sort of thing. But, not everybody wants to be on YouTube. You know, I never thought it's where I would end up, Ben, to be honest. But we'll keep working. Maybe someday we'll get Rafa on here. But let's go to the
Yeah,
cards in the meantime. Who do we got?
yeah. Let's pull up the card for KCW first for today. I have to say I'm really really happy with what I've seen out of Casey. Casey is a live card. I reviewed the trading card that we had for them about 2 weeks ago, where the average daily P&L was roughly negative $50. We are now positive $67. So minor improvement, at least on paper, but when you have 40 trading days under your belt, it's going to take a little bit of time to truly turn those statistics around into, significant profitability. So if you look over the last 2 weeks, Jack, there's been a really, really market improvement. Only one losing day over the last 2 weeks of trading. And there was only one other day that was ever even a drawdown. So Casey's seeing the markets well. Had conversations with Casey in the past about trading methodology, how Casey's actually placing trades. You'll notice oftentimes there's very few trades placed on the day, sometimes even just one. That's analysis that's taking place in the morning. Sometimes the day before, trade is getting placed and it's working out, one way or the other. Typically, the hold times are very short, so placing a trade at a particular level, if it works out, great, we're in profit. If not, then it's stopped out and we move on and we live with the results, most importantly. So, really like the recent improvements that we've seen from Casey. Got to give him a big shout out. He's also taken $3,000 in payouts in the live account thus far, which is awesome. That's across 3 different payouts. So, consistently paying himself along the way, that does a lot for your psychology. Just giving yourself a little bit of grace as well in the account. And again, recently has been trading on a really positive streak. So love seeing that. I think one thing we could look to for improvement possibly is just maximizing the winners a little bit more. You'll notice that the hold times on the winners a little bit lower than the losers, but overall we're talking minutes, typically for the trade durations either direction. So giving yourself a little bit of additional, win when you win is a good target, especially given that our reward to risk is a little bit inverted right now, especially when you consider the winning trade percentage. Again, that is blended across 40 days, is not necessarily reflective of what we've seen, in the last 2 weeks. But the number one number for me is that average daily P&L going from negative to positive in the last 2 weeks is really something to be celebrated. Trading is difficult, and particularly in a live account like this, when you're 40 days in, to put together a nice winning streak. And I have no doubt Casey will continue paying himself along the way. Is awesome to see. So just kind of a feel good card. Wanted to point out the improvements. We talk so often about traders who maybe are on a losing streak, need to do X, Y, and Z to try and turn it around. Well, Casey is actively doing that and on the right track. So kudos again. And anything in particular you see here, Jack, that stands out to you?
Yeah, really good at controlling the daily losses. In 40 days trading in this account, uh, just one day hitting the DLL. How often do we see that? Seems like usually there might be a self-imposed 2,000 loss limit he's put on himself. But also, like I've talked about the dispersion of losses before. I love don't love losers, but these losing days are a nice spread of, well, it didn't happen and I called it a day. There's some $2,000 losers, 1,000, a couple hundred, 700. It's clearly someone who's not going in with the thing is, I will keep on doing this until I hit a limit, be it imposed on me by Topstep or otherwise. I think Casey will do just fine with the personal daily loss limit feature we're adding. Besides that, maybe I'd have to sit down next to Casey and watch them trade. Seems like for what they're making, maybe you don't need all that size sometimes. 5 or 6 contracts in the NQ is a lot. You know, maybe hold on a little longer, but you're positive. 40 days, that's good trading. Keep it up.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially again, that trajectory, that recent arc, positive trading is excellent. Average losing day is a third of the daily loss limit for this account size. So, really positive stuff. And again, that trading methodology of that Casey's discussed with the risk team about putting the trade on and letting it the chips fall where they may and moving on to the next day is really healthy and mature trading behavior, to live with the results of a trade that a trade structure that you are comfortable with. So, kudos. And yeah, if you're ready, Jack, we can move on to the next.
Yeah. Casey, take another payout. If you're with
Yeah.
the loss limits you seem to be adhering to, with the balance that you have, you can take out a little more money, and I think it'd make everyone feel a little bit better. So, you got a big enough balance for what you do. Take out a little more. Treat yourself. All right, who we got next?
Treat yourself indeed. Next up, we've got somebody that we are calling up to live. That's going to be Suthapong. I believe I'm saying that name correctly. Trading with us from Thailand. And this account has been really interesting to watch. They've been on the radar of the risk team for a period of time. And finally, hit that tipping point at the end of last week where we decided to call them up to a live account. So we've got 27 trading days completed in this account, and that's a considerable amount of time to review, and we can, view these statistics as a little bit more concrete than if we only had, 5 or 10 trading days to review. So average daily P&L of $393 speaks to profitability in and of itself. Equities trader like that they're willing to trade the micro contracts, um, and you'll see from the trade reports that the size is not really significantly larger than what you would want to see with that number of trades. So 5 trades a day, averaging 1 lot per is great when you're trading, ES and NQ primarily. And they've got $6,400 total in payouts. They've taken 2 payouts totaling $6,400, which is awesome to see. A little bit over 2 to 1 reward to risk ratio. That combined with pretty much dead on 50% winning trades is a recipe for profitability. Love seeing that. Again, I have a little more confidence in those figures longer term, given the 27 trading days complete. That may equalize. We may see a little bit come out of the winning day percentage or a little bit come out of that reward to risk ratio. But ultimately, you can be profitable at a 2 to 1, at 40% winning days. So 40% winning trades, I should say. So lots of really good stuff here. Hold times being a little bit longer than on the winners than on the losers. And hard to find a whole lot here that I dislike. The best day that they had was $8,000. That was on day one. And then had the wherewithal. I know that says plus $20. There should be an extra zero on that. But they hit the next 4 days, trading days that they had after that $8,000 winning day, hit plus $200 threshold to achieve a payout. So that tells me this trader is looking to pay themselves, looking to have a winning day, and then take the payout ultimately after that. So really big positive as far as the risk team is concerned. One thing I would say is, the micro contracts, the MNQ that they're trading, only traded those on 2 different days, and they were early on in the account. So that's something that you could consider as a way to further maximize the winning trades. We talk about that every single segment that we do shoulder tap. It seems like, how can you make more on your winners? Scaling, if you're only comfortable taking, your system says you can only take 1 contract, in the ES or the NQ based on your risk tolerance, breaking that up into micros, or trading, the equivalent in micros, and being able to, leave a runner, as is so often talked about on this program, can really help maximize those gains, and maybe push that reward to risk a little bit higher. Of course, that will, pull a little bit out of the winning trade percentage, but so much of the profits that can be made on the times that you're right comes from sitting through the trade as it moves in your favor. It's a really, really difficult thing to do in trading. Sit in and stick with your winning trade. So finding a way to do that where you've captured most of the profit on the trade, to your profit target or whatever that looks like, and leave a little bit, left on the bone to ride out for some of those outsized moves that we seem to be seeing more and more frequently with the increased volatility in equities. So small, piece of advice or way to, adjust your trading to further maximize the wins. But overall, shouldn't do a whole lot of tinkering with the trading. I think here, just stay the course and stick with what's working. Ultimately, should continue to yield profitability in the live markets. So that's what we saw from Suthapong, and looking forward to seeing him in live. Jack, what takeaways do you have from the trade reports? I've seen you intently reviewing in the background.
2 things that I love here. I was also, because I am doing the Chiron at the bottom right now, so I had to switch it to live. But I love 2 things. I love the 50% winning trades with a 2-to-1 risk reward, because that to me feels very sustainable. Um, I also, even though I don't like always people going towards a certain P&L or something, I'll give a dispensation if you make a bunch of money and then make sure that you can take it out by booking those $200 winners. There's some of these cards that have given me anxiety attacks because they'll have a huge day and then, 30,000, 40,000, like real money, and then just keep on dribbling it away in 3K increments without ever getting to the 5 days above 200. Whereas I love this. Made 8K the first day, then just made like 213, 203, 263, 1,000. Boom, he's done. Right.
Yep.
And also good loss control here. This is a 100K express account, so he could lose 2 grand, but I don't see that often. And only a couple times. The losers don't usually get that far. But lastly, which is nice, he's actually getting out of these trades. So often we see people that are slamming into those limits where every time they hit their DLL, it's actually losing more money than that, right? Which will happen because if you have us auto trigger it, it gets triggered at that level and you're going to go below it. Even
Yeah.
his DLL days are a few bucks below that. So he's getting out himself. Love to see it. So, um, great
Yeah,
card.
I
He's
can.
taken good payouts.
Yeah, no doubt. That I can't hammer home that point about the $8,000 winning day and hitting those winning days to qualify for the payout afterwards. That is such a massive litmus test as far as the risk team is concerned. If we see you have a really big winning day and then subsequently hit your profit target minimum to qualify for that payout, that's your aim and your goal. That says so much about where you're at. Maturity wise, emotional, your emotional temperament and how you're going to behave in a live account. So huge benefit. And the reason for that is because we want to see traders not only generate profits, but take them, right? Pay yourself along the way. And this trader's doing an excellent job of that thus far. It's time to move them into a live account so they can start harvesting profits out of live markets.
Well, that is great stuff, Ben. And that's the only card we have for today. I think that while you're taking a Series 3, Mick's going to be back tomorrow, but you're doing a great job here, Ben. It's always a pleasure to see you.
Yes, sir. It was fun as usual, Jack. I'll be on later this week too.
All right. I'm about to change that Chiron at the bottom of the screen. What's it going to say? It's going to say next group coaching with JD and Robert, because that is what's next. So stick around. We're going to take a quick break to get things turned around.